Happy New Year. Happy 2019. I am Dana Lee. I am the founder of RealFit.tv and the creator of the RealFit Mindset course. Today I want to talk about 4 checkpoints for you to basically use as guidelines to help you stay on track for committing to the new and healthy habits for the new year, or really any time in your life. It doesn't necessarily have to be the new year. So if you're watching the replay, hello, I'm happy to have you here. If you're here with me live, go ahead and say hi. I'm just gonna have my laptop here. I'm going to go ahead and share this into a couple of the groups that I manage, just to make sure we, other people can get in on the conversation. So I'm excited to bring this to you because these are things that have definitely helped me stay in line with habits. Because let's face it, the New Year's resolution thing, it really isn't about resolutions. What it breaks down to is the habits that we create. They're either habits that are going to work towards the results that we want on the back end, hence the resolution, the result that we're looking to get from that, or it's going to work against that. So we want to try to, do the things that are in alignment with the direction we want to go, in a positive direction, right? All right, so going to go ahead and share this video into a couple groups, so just bear with me. Thank you. All right, and in the meantime, what you can do is share with me if you are currently, so you set a resolution, if there's something in particular you're working on, I would absolutely love to hear it. So, all right. Okay, went ahead and shared that. Fantastic. Okay, so there's, like I said, there's 4 things that we're going to talk about today to help you stay on track and stay committed, or if you've fallen off track, how do you get back on track? Because that is often the culprit, right? It's like once we're derailed, somehow we're just completely thrown off course, and it's difficult for some people to get back on track. So I take a lot of this for granted because I have, let me just start here. The reason I have shifted to become more of a mindset coach is because I have understood over the years of being a fitness coach that so much of it is in our thinking and our belief system about what we think is possible for ourselves. So here's the thing. My identity is I identify as I'm an exerciser. I identify as I'm a healthy eater. That's my identity. So if you haven't quite adopted that as your identity, then that is exactly why I have developed a mindset course that takes you through. And I also have some one-to-one coaching options available. I only have like 1 spot open for that, but I'll share the link for an application after this video. So I just want to start with the context of so much of adopting new habits has to do with adopting a new identity. Okay, so the first checkpoint I want to share is decision is made. A decision must be made that is fueled by deeply caring. Okay, so first I want to just talk about the word decision for a moment. The word decision is simple, or I should say decide. Let's break it down. Decide. Decide is very similar to the word suicide, homicide. So it means cutting off. So decide means that you are cutting off all other options for possibilities. All right. So when you truly decide that you are going to take care of yourself, you're cutting off the other options that are against that. Okay, so the other part of this component for number 1 is, caring so deeply that you're driven to do the things. Okay, so I want to give 2 examples here. Now, they're not fitness well, one is kind of a fitness example because it has to do with me opening my gym. But it is I want to give 2 examples of making a decision and then what that means by fueling it with, I care so deeply, like I really give a shit about this. And because I care so much, I'm going to stick to the habit. I'm going to do the things I need to do. So the first thing is, when I had the revelation to open a gym back in like 2005-ish, when I made the decision to open the gym, there were all sorts of things that were way outside my comfort zone. And I had to develop all new habits of like, who would the person be who would be a business owner, who would open a gym. And it was completely outside my comfort zone. But two things happened there. One, I made the decision. Like, it was inside me like a hell yes. And the second part of that is I cared so deeply about doing it. I wanted to make such a difference in the world of fitness and, the other gyms that were in the area. And I wanted to really make a difference, that making a difference and really giving a shit. Hey, Anna, good to have you here. Really caring about what I wanted to do was the fuel that continued to open up the habits and keep those and have those habits stick, where that meant I had to learn some things that in the past I didn't give two shits about learning. I didn't care about business things. Now it's actually one of my favorite topics, interestingly enough. So that's one example. Decision fueled by deeply caring or giving a shit. You've got to really, really give a shit about changing your life and about your health. And that has to come from within you. It cannot come from outside of you. That has to come from within. The second example I want to give is that some of you know I recently became a CASA. A CASA is a court-appointed special advocate for children in the foster care system. So basically, I am the direct line to the judge, and I'm able to put all the pieces together for this child or these children in this particular case that I'm assigned to. And I'm able to make recommendations and facilitate things that have to happen for that child in order for them to have a permanent placement and a permanent home. So when I first heard about it, my number one thing was I made the decision that, oh my God, like I want to do this. It was fueled by me giving a shit about making a difference. Like, I care so much about these kids who don't have voices for themselves and who are stuck in a broken system, that's fueling me to do some things I've never done before. Like, I've never presented in a courtroom. I've never had to, I never put a court report together or any of this stuff. And to be honest, it makes me a little nervous, and I still am going to do it anyway. All right. So it's really important that when you're developing new habits, healthy habits, things that, whether they're habits, maybe some habits you want to quit doing, or things that are in alignment, like working out and preparing your food, choosing healthy food at the grocery store, whatever that healthy means for you. Those things are going to happen when you have the inside desire of, I care so much about myself and feeling good, that it trumps all else. Okay, so the decision is made and you're not easily swayed by this or that. Okay, so it really helps to keep you on course. All right, so that is number one. So if anyone wants to type that in the chat box and wants some interactive like note taking, you're going to type in, decision is made fueled by caring deeply. And in, real fit terms, fueled by giving a shit. Like, you have to really, really care. Okay. So number two is boundaries are set. All right. So when it comes to following consistent, healthy, new habits that are in alignment for the results that you really want to get in your life and in your body, you have to set boundaries. And along with setting boundaries is being present. Okay, so I'm going to let you in on my life a little bit and how do I do this? How do I stay consistent? Like, I worked out through Christmas and New Year's, not on Christmas, not on New Year's, but throughout that holiday season. That is not, really doesn't change. I'm an exerciser. I'm a healthy eater. Like, that's just who I am. So again, that's going back to what I shared in the very beginning of this video. That is part of my identity. So this is part of your process in adopting a new identity of who you actually are. So when that happens, one of my secrets is that I have created this time and space that really protects those healthy habits. So what I mean by that is, when I work out, I am not checking my phone. I am not taking phone calls. I am not texting. I legit focus all of my energy and my mind power on me. And what that does for you when you do that for yourself is it helps you cultivate a level of really being present to the richness of your life. And that what we're looking for as human beings in this very connected digital world is a true connection with ourselves. So if you're able to unplug and really create this space around your workouts, around your yoga practice, around walking in nature, around preparing your food and cooking food, really creating almost like a ritual around that where it's super protected. You're not letting anyone stomp over your non-negotiable. Okay, so I'm just kind of letting you into, this is something, again, I sort of take it for granted. This is something on autopilot for me, but I just want you to know, because I'm understanding, wow, like not everybody really looks at it that way. Now, it's interesting because if I'm able to shut off my phone and disconnect as an online fitness coach who is always taking, afterwards I'll take clips of videos and things like that when I'm working out with the Misfits or I'm recording a video for realfit.tv. But other than that, when I'm doing my own workout, so I work out on my own on Mondays. On Wednesdays, I train with Party City. So I'm there present as their coach. Nothing else is happening. I'm playing music, but it is all about us in that room at that time. I'm not social media, nothing. I'm not taking phone calls. I'm not texting. I'm completely present to them and to me. And then on Friday, I train a client and we work out together. So same thing. I'm completely present to her and we goof around and we laugh and we have a really good time. And so it becomes more than just the workout is my point. It becomes more than just the healthy habit. Part of what you're going to get from that, setting boundaries, is that you're going to create a situation where you really look forward to that next session for yourself and you may not like logically on the surface understand why you're looking forward to it, but that's part of the magic of it, that it is like your sacred space. Okay, so setting boundaries is super, super important. Okay, so one thing I will do, like when I'm preparing my food for the week, for example, I used to think of it as like, oh, I have to do this. I've changed my mindset about that. It really is, and for a long time now, I get to do it. I look forward to doing it because it is how I am so much more sane and how I can take care of myself for the rest of the week. So it's really, really important to me. So again, it's a mindset shift. It really is a perception of, I was thinking about this not in the best way years ago. It was kind of dreading it and like, oh, I gotta do this. Now I actually enjoy preparing my food. And sometimes like I'll put music on, or like Steve is here doing something else and then I'm preparing food in the kitchen. So it's like, I'm okay with it. Like this is who I am. This is what I do. Again, going back to your identity. This is who you are. Okay. So number 3, and of course, I always have my little notes here because I like to keep myself on point. All right. So if anyone is taking notes here live, if anyone wants to type in, unless you're driving, I don't know. You probably shouldn't be watching this while you're driving. Maybe you're listening. So number 2 is boundaries are set. Okay. Boundaries are set and respected. And that is really for yourself. And if you respect it for yourself, other people will follow. If other people are not respecting your workout time, this is me being a tough teacher, a tough coach. It's because you're not respecting your workout time. So when you take yourself seriously, when you take this seriously and you are setting the boundaries and you respect your own time, it's amazing how other people will fall in line, and it's a non-issue. So, all right, just a little food for thought there. Okay, so number 3, I acknowledge my process, or my process too. I acknowledge my progress. Now, this is one that I will quickly like skip past and not even like pay attention to for a very, very long time. Like I just sort of like on to the next thing, or that didn't really count. And really part of what helps us stay inspired to stick to the healthy habits is acknowledging that you freaking did it. So one of the things you can do is just make an X on your calendar of like, yeah, this is the day that I worked out. I worked out this day, and I worked out this day, and I worked out this day. I recently heard that Seinfeld had done this years ago when he was writing jokes. he wrote on a calendar, just a regular paper calendar he had on the wall, he put a big red X on all the days that he wrote jokes. And there's something in that reward of seeing, I did that, I accomplished it that day, that he actually ended up writing jokes every freaking day. Now, I'm not exactly saying that you should work out every single day. Should you move your body every day? Hell to the yes, you should move your body. We're meant to move as human beings. So that means walking, stretching, maybe lifting, maybe doing something hardcore, maybe, meeting a friend for a walk or something. So it is good to move the body and do something every day. But the point here is that you're acknowledging, like, yeah, I did that. And you're thanking yourself for it. You're really like, one of the things I love about taking yoga is there's a few yoga instructors that I love their class. And part of the conclusion of the class is taking a little bit of time to like, hey, before we're doing our last Om, acknowledge yourself and thank yourself for coming to your mat today. And, it's easier to do that in yoga than it is a workout, because in the workout, our energy is so different and there's just a different focus. And it's still important to acknowledge, like, I did this for myself today. Like, how freaking awesome is that I did this? And when you're able to acknowledge it, it kind of builds this momentum of excitement for like, ooh, I can't wait for the next time and the next time. So it's almost like, in a way, you can kind of gamify it. And some people do like to acknowledge it through a Fitbit or, your Apple Watch or some other tracking device. You can absolutely do it that way. I'm a little bit old school where I'm online, I'm technology driven because that's a lot of my business and a lot of how I reach my clients, but there's still a part of me that is the artist in me where I have my notebooks. I've got my journal here and I've got notebooks here and I still like pen to paper, and there's just something in that for me that really works. So the other thing I want to just bring up about acknowledging your progress and thanking yourself is that, sometimes I've heard coaches say, set a reward for yourself. And I think, honestly, what these new habits do is they stack the momentum, so the reward is the results from doing the habit. So instead of thinking of like your workout as a punishment or eating healthy as some sort of punishment, it's actually the opposite. So again, letting you into my little brain of like who I am, my identity as I'm on autopilot. I don't need this is stuff that just comes very easy. So I want to let you into my thinking, so therefore it becomes easy for you. So I had changed my mindset from working out as a punishment and, eating healthy is, I do that, but then I reward myself with the sugary stuff. And then I create this perpetual cycle. So I decided to stop that thinking. That thinking was keeping me trapped. And I decided to create a new train of thought. And that working out was a reward and not a punishment. And that I get to do it. Again, I get to prepare my food. I get to work out. I get to move my body in this way. I get to eat all these this healthy food. How awesome that we have access to all this healthy food and I can take care of myself on this level. So that's how my brain works. And I don't need a reward for doing something that is rewarding. so that's my thought there, right? Like your reward is the momentum you're creating from getting these, what seems to be really simple and mundane things in every day, that when you do them, they end up creating freaking magic in your life. Magic. So every single day when you're breaking it down, it's like, okay, ho-hum, nothing exciting. But over a period of time, very fucking exciting. Very exciting. So that is the reward. The reward is built into it. So it's just a matter of, my number three checkpoint is check that I acknowledge my progress. Okay? You're honoring yourself. You're thinking about it. Yes, I did that. All right. So the fourth one. So this is an interesting study that I just read. So first, let me just say that the point is that I put it in my calendar. So when I'm creating a new habit or sticking to a habit, or how I do my healthy, eating, food prep, my workouts, I put it in my calendar. So that means there is a date, a time, a place. Okay, now I'm going to add in, because I'm going to share a study with you that's very fascinating. I'm going to add in a next level of power to staying consistent with your workout is not only putting in your calendar the time, the date, and the place, but what are you doing within that time, right? Are you just going to walk into the gym and be like, okay, I'm here. What do I do? I guess I'm just getting on the treadmill. I don't really know what to do next. That is probably a way for you to lose interest really fast. So that is also why I do RealFit.tv. So I'm giving you what to do next. Like I saw a need in the market of like, people don't know what to do when they're working out. They don't even know how to do a warm up. So I build in the warm up, the workout, the cool down, and the stretch, all within every single workout video on RealFit.tv, because I don't make any assumptions that you know how to do any of that or want to piece it together yourself. So all of that is self-contained. So knowing what to do within the time you're there is critical. Okay, so this is an interesting study. All right, so this was published in 2010, and it was in the British Journal of Health and Psychology. So they randomly assigned 248 adults to one of three groups, all right? And they wanted to see how or what would motivate people to stick to exercise for a period of 2 weeks, all right? So this is very timely. The beginning of the new year, we're like, okay, there's some people who are regular exercisers and maybe they want to take a few things up a notch, but there's other people who are really trying to commit to something. Like we see it in the gym, like all these people show up in the gym, right? So I want to stack the odds in your favor so you understand this final component. This is really important. So the first of the three groups was a control group, okay? And they were asked to keep track of when they exercised over the period of 2 weeks. And they were told to read 3 particular paragraphs in this random novel. Now, I don't know what that had to do with it. I think it was just to create like consistency of some sort. It was just 3 random paragraphs. That was the control group. The second group, they were called the motivation group. So they did the same thing where they were told to track their exercise over 2 weeks. And they were also told to read the 3 paragraphs. And the addition to that is they were reading a pamphlet that explained the benefits of exercise and the risks of heart disease. Okay? So that was the motivation group. I don't know. Can you already see? Like, that's not very motivating to me. But anyway, this was the study. So number 3 was the intention group. So the intention group was told to do the same 2 things as the above people. So they were reading the 3 paragraphs. Or I should say 3 things. They were tracking the exercise within the 2 weeks, and they were also reading the benefits and, the risks of heart disease. But the bonus of this group is that they were told to formulate a plan for when and where they would exercise over the 2 weeks. Okay, so they were told to put it in their calendar, right? The date, the time. They were told to block it out. So here's the interesting thing. The first group, the control group, 38% of those people exercised at least once over the 2 weeks. 38%. Okay? The second group, the motivation group, a lower percentage, 35% of people said they exercised at least once during the 2 weeks. Now, that I'm not surprised about, because people reading the risks of things, it does not feel good to be shamed into anything. So if you feel like, oh, you should do this, it's not intrinsically motivating, right? It can actually shut some people down, myself included. That is not how I'm motivated. That is also why that's not how I motivate as a coach. So that's not that surprising to me. The third group, 91% of those people exercised at least once within the 2 weeks, right? So all of them were just that they're looking at least one time, right? So the first group was 38%, the second group 35%, and the third group that told them to put it on the calendar, 91%. Now, what I would really like to see is not only putting it in your calendar, but what did I just share? The other element is, what are you going to do? So if you so I do this all the time in RealFit.tv. When we just released an 8-week program in the all access area this week. And one of the first things I say in our intro video as I'm explaining the program for our members is I say, you're going to put this program in your calendar. You're going to actually put the URL in the days of the calendar. So that way you know what you need to do that day. You're not like, okay, I'm supposed to work out, but I don't know what to do. And I don't know if I'm doing it right. And I don't know, what if I get hurt? And all those other things that we tell ourselves, right? So that's a whole, like, another level. It's for you to be able to maintain consistency. And if you have a hard time with any of those things, please message me. Send me a private message on Facebook. And I'd love to talk to you about, like, if you're lost about what exactly to do, specifically for home workouts. Now, if you're going to a gym, right now, I don't have gym workouts on our site. Everything is focused on people who have, like, you know, a little patch area where they can dedicate to workout at home. And I give them, honestly, the best training you can possibly get through a video. This is me 25 years of being a master personal trainer, group fitness coach, wellness coach, coaching, training. So you get that through video. So you get to refine how you're moving your body, how you're doing the proper technique, the lifting, the breathing, the posture, and all of that to super motivating music, which, you know, for me, that's another huge thing. So maybe I should just add that in as a bonus of, like, the reason I'm able to stay consistent with a lot of my healthy habits is a lot of it is music motivated. Like, when I'm preparing my food for the week, I put on music. Steve and I are cooking healthy, like a healthy meal together. We do HelloFresh every weekend. We cook together. We put on music. When I'm working out, I'm just like, you know, cranking it. I love kick-ass music, all different types of music. That to me is kind of like it's sort of how it makes the whole experience, like, it up levels the whole experience for me. I just really appreciate music and enjoy it. So that is how do I set those boundaries to make it me time? And how can I up level the experience where I really look forward to it? I almost create like a ritual out of it. That's how I do it. So, okay, so those are the 4 things, you guys. So I hope that was super helpful. So I'm just going to quickly recap. One is that you make a decision, and fueled by that decision, you deeply care. In other words, you gotta give a shit. You gotta decide, and then you gotta really give a shit. Some coaches explain that as, like, you have to have a why. Yes, that's another way to say that. Your why. Why are you doing what you're doing, right? You have to deeply care about yourself, all right? Number 2, boundaries are set, and you are completely present and you are respecting your own boundaries. Number 3, you acknowledge your process and your progress. I keep mixing up those words, but truly it is the process, right? We're not going to get the results from our habits overnight and in 1 week. We need to look at a bigger picture where it's over time, right? So that even acknowledging the process in your journey is also super important. So how does that look for you? Is it on your calendar? Is it in, is it physically a marker? How is it you're keeping track and saying, yeah, go you, I did this for myself, and you can feel that moment of pride and accomplishment. And then number 4, you actually do put it in your calendar. It's the day, the time, where you're working out, and what you're doing in your workouts. So that is super important, all right? So if you need help with that, of course, realfit.tv is there for you. We're all here, and our real fitters are here for you. So, I guess the other part of that, I'll just, before I let you go, is that I guess my bonus checkpoint is that you surround yourself with like-minded people. Surrounding yourself with people who are going to, lift you up and not drag you back down, So just be aware of that. If some of the sabotage comes in because you've made the decision, and then there's other people who are uncomfortable with you taking care of yourself because they're making it mean they're not taking care of themselves, and somehow, whatever, their story plays out in their head, which doesn't have really anything to do with you, but it can absolutely be one of the factors in what puts you off course. So when you're surrounded with a group of people who can help keep you grounded and get you thinking, like, it's okay if your spouse is not on board. It's okay if your family's not on board, and you can still do things to take care of yourself. If you're able to really get that accountability and support, that's probably the other bonus tip I would give in this checkpoint list that I'm sharing with you guys today, because I know, again, we're in this virtual world, but it is amazing to me how every month in Real Fit we do a live stream workout. I get to see my members from all over. Like, I have a member from the UK, she'll join in. We have members from Canada, across the United States. So we get to see each other face to face, and I feel like that's kind of what we're shifting into, even in this year of like, everyone is so plugged in all the time, but we're yearning for this like deeper connection with ourselves and with other individuals who really get us and who really support us. So that's definitely something I would love to help you with in 2019. So thank you for being here. Thanks for watching the video. If you're still here, awesome. Please share it. Share this video, even if it's in a Facebook message with one of your friends or something like that. Please feel free to share, because I want you to feel successful. I want you to experience success. I honestly would love for this to not be the topic for you for 2020, right? So this next year at this time, what if you didn't struggle with trying to take care of yourself? What if taking care of yourself was something like, I was like, okay, as a coach, I'm like, I take all this stuff for granted. I really have to break down what's the secret sauce. So what if you're like, I already have that. I don't even have to focus on that this year. Wouldn't that be amazing? That would be fucking amazing. So, and that is possible for you. That absolutely is possible. So there's a couple things I recommend. One, all access to realfit.tv. So that's all the fitness videos and coaching videos and other deeper mindset videos that I do in the members area there. And then there's also my mindset course, and I am opening up one slot to work with a client one-on-one, to really help them let go of the food issues, to let go of the hang-ups around beating up on their body. And all of that's done around the framework of my mindset course. But the cool thing about working one-to-one is that you have text message support from me. There's I use an app called Marco Polo or Voxer, so that way there's communication whenever you need it. And there's also some guidelines to go through. So it really is a step-by-step process to get your identity in line with, I'm an exerciser, I'm a healthy eater. You really can say that and know it to be true and not feel like you're lying to yourself. So that's what you get at the end of working with me on that level. So I will go ahead and share the application in this video when I'm done and it uploads. And so if there's any other way that you need help and you want to message me, on the side, make sure we're connected on Facebook, Dana Lee Chapman, and you can send me a Facebook message. I would love to hear from you. So, okay, here's to an awesome 2019. You're off to a great start. Happy to have your eyeballs here, and thank you for being part of the Real Fit community. Okay, I will see you in the next one. Bye.